Exasperated by failed crops, rising food and production costs, and labor shortages, farmers in Massachusetts are under a lot of stress these days. And according to a recent survey from the State Department of Agricultural Resources, 95% of respondents say their job impacts their mental health and well-being. To help, the state is launching a new mental health and wellness program to train farmers to spot the signs that someone's struggling and connect them with mental health resources that can help. I spoke to one local farmer who's seen the toll that farm work can take on mental health.
Having anxiety is definitely one of the things that has kept me in farming. When there's literally animals that have to be fed, something else is like depending on me, so I can get out of like my own head a little bit, and it's like I can kind of switch gears, and so I'm not just focusing on myself. There's something else that I have to go take care of. My name's Meg, and I'm a farmer in Middleborough, Massachusetts. The sheep that I raise are Shetland sheep. I can sell them for meat. We shear them every year for their wool. I also sell sheep to people who want to start their own sheep flocks. Breeding for me is like always a stressful time, like when the lambs are being born. I've slept in this barn on many occasions. I've slept in my truck. Come on, pretty girl, you got this. You got this, pretty girl, come on. I have so much anxiety that like, something terrible is going to happen, you know what I mean? So it makes me feel better to feel like I'm in control, and if I'm physically there, to like be able to watch it. I've only had a couple panic attacks as an adult. You get set off, and it feels like almost like water's like washing over you, and you can just feel it. Like it starts at your head, and it sinks down to your toes, and you start to feel a little bit numb, and you start to feel like I can't breathe so good, my heart's racing. There's a lot more talk, like openly, nowadays about mental health than there has been in the past, which I think is the direction that we should all be moving in. People should be honest about where they are. But people who are independent and strong-willed are obviously not going to be the first people to like raise their hand and ask for help. People that are in the agricultural community have a tremendous amount of stress on them. An older gentleman that I know chose to take his life. I mean, honestly, nobody knows like the exact reasons for it. But when you have the stressors of potentially not having access to land or not having access to secure housing, and then on top of that, the weather changes or your animals get sick, it can just be a situation that would break anybody. Some people who farm in rural areas in Massachusetts, like they don't have access to what they would need to help solve those problems. I have seen farmers like at their brink and at their breaking point, and I wish that some of these resources had existed then to share with them.
Appreciate it. We are like stocked.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Well, we're supposed to be.
I do have a great network of farmer friends because I've been working in agriculture for 20 years. So I have lots of people that I can pick up the phone to talk to.
He's like, oh, if you have like a flock of 20 ewes, I would love to consistently buy 12 ram lambs off of you a year.
But if I was a young farmer, if I was new to this area, if I came from a different part of the country, I could see how you would feel extremely isolated and really want to talk to somebody about it.
Even just like to know somebody else, like, with a kid who's like farming. I don't know that he has like a lot of connections like this way, so he's wicked nice kid, so.
So it was a really good connection, and I just wanted to say thank you.
So we're still on roller skating? Is that part of it? Okay. 7 o'clock?
Go now too.
One person said to my daughter one time, like, oh, you're so lucky that like your mom works on this beautiful farm. And my daughter said, the animals always eat dinner before we do, So every day on the farm is not romantic. It's not always fun. It's not always fun for your plans to have to get canceled or changed because an animal got sick or something's dying. And, having the state step in and recognize that this is an issue that they want to support and that they want to try to help. It's just my hope that this commitment actually can make a difference in some people's lives.
To discuss more, I'm joined now by Ashley Randall, Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources, and Karen Crowley, Program Manager with Farm First, an organization sponsored by the state of Vermont that's providing farmers and their families there with support and resources to help with stress. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Craig.
Thank you.
So, Commissioner, the new program was launched after your department conducted a survey of farmers in the state. 55% of the respondents said they have anxiety. Nearly half reported feeling nervous or on edge. And they said about a third said they are not able to control their worrying. Was that result surprising to you?
I would say, Craig, somewhat surprising, but based on the stressors that farmers face on a daily basis, we know that climate change and the weather impacts of the past few years certainly have impacted them, labor shortages, inflation now that we've seen, and growing up on a fifth-generation dairy farm, I could really relate to those farmers and the stressors that they noted they were experiencing.
Yeah, they actually, in the survey, listed out some of the things that were most stressful to them. They included the weather was one of the key things. They can't control that. Certainly, there were other factors like the stressful working conditions, financial stress, labor shortages. I mean, a lot of these things are things I think that would stress anybody out, but especially for farmers who maybe have or who are prone to depression or anxiety, I can imagine these could be triggers to something pretty tragic at times.
Yes, and we do hear more and more often that those challenges continue to increase. And coming out of the pandemic, the challenges that the farmers are now facing were further exacerbated with inflation and the costs for inputs on the farm, from feed, fuel, fiber. Everything that goes into production has increased substantially. And when you're trying to provide for your family and your sole income is coming from the farmers are feeling that weight and that pressure.
What about access to mental health resources? A lot of these farmers are in very rural areas, of course. Do they have the access to the kind of services that would help?
It really depends on the region of the state and how specialized farming is. There's somewhat of a stigma about seeking assistance because oftentimes medical professionals may not understand the unique challenges that farmers are facing. And so there's that cautionary reaching out because they aren't sure that the services that are going to be provided by a mental health professional will actually benefit them.
Mm-hmm. Karen, you've seen this issue in Vermont for years, especially I think as milk prices have really put a lot of strain and stress on farmers, right? Can you tell us about Farm First, what the program is and why it was created?
Yeah, so Farm First began way back in 2009. We are part of a program called Invest EAP, which is an employee assistance program that serves a lot of Vermont, including the state employees. So the Vermont Agency of Agriculture looked at the services they were getting from an employee assistance program and thought, wow, farmers could really benefit from this type of service. And so Farm First was born. We're able to provide to farmers and their families the services one might expect from an employee assistance program: counseling, stress relief, connection to resources, in order to deal with all of the things that farmers are facing.
Do you know, can you get a sense of how successful this has been in preventing suicides or in just helping farmers in Vermont deal with their mental health issues?
Right. Prevention is always something that's hard to measure because it's hard to know what you can measure that did not happen. But we certainly have seen a lot of suicidal thinking going on, that people are willing to reach out to us and talk through with us. We're able to connect them with the help that they need. It's becoming something that we see more and more often. So we've put a big emphasis on that piece of mental health recently. We judge our success by how our clients feel about us. We've consistently had somewhere between 75 and 100 farmers per year that reach out to us. And sometimes they come back. Oftentimes they'll make referrals to other farmers and their friends. And we've become a very popular and well-known program here in Vermont.
Commissioner, when you got those survey results, you reached out to people in Vermont and worked with them to set up a new program here. Can you speak to me about the program and what you hope to achieve here?
Yes, so the Mass Grown Wellness Program was launched in 2021. We actually received a $500,000 grant from the United States Department of Agriculture through their Farm and Ranch Stress Assistance Network. And we had this on our radar for quite a while because we were hearing directly from farmers about their mental health concerns. And so we wanted to develop a program in collaboration with Vermont Farm First because they do have that long storied history of working with the ag community. And so we reached out to them last year, and we actually were able to partner with them to host trainings in January of this year through March, both in person and virtual.
And what are you teaching people in those trainings? What are you telling them to spot?
The 2-hour trainings typically cover self-care, de-escalation strategies, active listening skills. We know oftentimes working in agriculture and in our role at the department, we want to find ways to help farmers. And usually the first question is, how can we help? Without knowing fully all of the circumstances. And with mental health conditions, we want to make sure that we're actively listening. And so through these trainings, we were actually able to work with Vermont Farm First to develop a mental health and wellness toolkit as well.
And I know that part of your plan is you hope to get funding to have a behavioral health specialist who focuses and specializes on working with farmers and maybe understands their unique needs, right? But you got to get the funding through the legislature. It's in the governor's budget, but we're still waiting on the legislature on that?
Correct. So Governor Healy in the FY24 budget did file for the department to have a behavioral health specialist, and currently the legislature has just passed their House budget, and we're still waiting on the Senate version before it ultimately goes to the governor's desk for signature.
Okay, great. And I know you're also working on launching a peer-to-peer network. You're doing that in Vermont right now, right? How is that working, and has that been successful?
That's been an absolutely wonderful and exciting program for us because it's something that we went into not really knowing how well it would work because it's new and it's different. But we got a very enthusiastic response from farmers who stepped up and said, as busy as I am, I want to volunteer my time to spend time with other farmers and kind of take what I've learned and what I've gone through and make their lives easier. I want to give back for all of the people that were supportive of me when I was first starting out. So we've had a great response. We've at this point trained 15 peers in a lot of the same things that we were training in Massachusetts, only their training has been much more intensive. And they are now connecting with other Vermonters and being able to, in whatever ways, it's a very flexible program. Sometimes it's face-to-face, sometimes it's phone calls, but they're able to work out with a peer what they think will be most helpful to them.
Okay. And I know that's what you're working on right now in terms of recruiting those peers in Massachusetts, right?
Yes, that's correct. So the final phase really of our 3-part program is the recruitment to be able to build a peer-to-peer network. And we do have several organizations from the Berkshires to Barnstable County that have already indicated their interest. So we have farmer members, we have organizations that work with farmers, and then members of our team who will also be part of the peer-to-peer network.
In the end, what's your hope?
Our hope is to be able to help farmers. At the department, our goal and our mission is to ensure that Massachusetts agriculture is robust and equitable and safe and secure. And that means our farmers at the end of the day, that their safety and their security is there. And if we can help farmers across the state, as well as the peer-to-peer network, be able to identify those signs and save lives, that's the ultimate goal.
Okay. Well, Commissioner Ashley Randall and Karen Crowley, thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.